Hello and welcome to Sports Talk, December 4, 2021. My name is Daniel Blake. I'm your new host. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm extremely happy to be here. I'm a part of the Love family and to be a part of such a prestigious show. If you hear any nerves, I apologize in advance, but I'm excited. I'm everything right now. I honestly can't explain it, but I'm everything right now. So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And I can tell you, first of all, that Sports Talk is brought to you by Jamaica Customs Agency, Country Above Self, and Accountant General's Department. Service with excellence, touching the life of every Jamaican. That's right. I have sponsors. Also, things to note how you can listen to the show. Obviously through your radio, but for those with smartphones, you can download the Love 101 FM app in the Google Play or the Apple Store. You can open your browser, listen on love101.org, and you can watch me right now on Facebook and YouTube. Hello, friends on Facebook and YouTube. So I'm live on Facebook and YouTube. Hi, guys. All right, so this is exciting. You also should follow Love on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So that's Love 101 or Love FM Jamaica. You can follow me on Twitter, Danny BG. I can't bother spell that, but it's DANNYBEEGIE on Twitter and Instagram. And please interact with me during the show. So we have a WhatsApp line, 876-997-3125. So 876-997-3125. You can leave your comments, your thoughts there. You can give me your well wishes. I know so enough on the tuning because in the ear say ASAFA up on the show. So you can leave your comments about ASAFA's career, what you thought about his illustrious career. It's not done yet, or is it? Well, that's what we're going to find out later on when that interview is played. So you can leave your comments there. I'll soon get into what I call my intro, but Roshane is still here. Roshane.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Sportsman himself.
That is the voice of Roshane Douglas. He is one of the presenters here, and he is a Chelsea fan, and Chelsea did so well this morning. Yes, 3-2 defeat to West Ham. How are you feeling?
Well, I feel down somewhat,
as you should.
But I'm happy I lost this morning to some extent, because normally, to lose at certain critical stages of the season, it's best to lose at this time when you're going into the busy winter season, when you know that there are matches being played every 2 or 3 days. So it's kind of best to fix some things first before you get into the what you call the Christmas rush.
Yeah, matches, where you play about 4 games in all 9 days and them things there. Yeah.
So it's a lot of interesting results this afternoon. I saw where Liverpool, they won in the dying minutes, because I was hoping that they would have drawn the match.
So Roshane, may I go leave you? Because we're not going to talk about Liverpool on my wonderful new show. But Roshane will be back later on during the show. But it's actually funny that you talk about losing, because I'm going to talk about that in my opening monologue. So I was trying to find like a cool name for the monologue, like the opening monologue. So that's where I'm going to talk about a major sporting issue, give my opinions and thoughts and everything. So I thought, what happens when you fuse Daniel plus monologue?
Hi, this is David Blake.
This is Hope Blake.
I am Ariel Brown Blake, and it's time for the Daniel-log.
The Daniel-log.
The Daniel-log.
Yes, it is the Daniel-log. I know that it might sound a little corny, but it is the Daniel-log. And I'm going to give some thoughts on an issue that I've been seeing over the last few weeks. So, schoolboy football season has been on, right?
Well, I know it has started. I've seen the fixtures, but I haven't gotten a chance to.
All right. So, for those who may or may not know, schoolboy football season started when? October, November. And, there have been some results, some major results. So, for example, BB Coke beat Mount St. Joseph 20-0.
Is it what they playing? Basketball?
No, this is football. So Manning Cup, Da Costa Cup, this is football. Mount St. Joseph got 20-0 from BB Coke. St. Mary's College, they withdrew from the Manning Cup because them get 13-0 from Wolmer's and 26-0 from St. Catherine High. Let me repeat that. 26-0 from St. Catherine and 13 from Wolmer's. So in the space of 2 games, a team conceded 39 goals. Now, most teams throughout the season don't even score 39 goals and them concede 39 and then withdraw from the competition. And then the argument started about having a mercy rule because teams shouldn't be getting 10 and then think that because it demoralizes like the youngsters.
What did they played some under 13?
No, this was their proper team. And so them said that it going to demoralize the kids and a whole bunch of things. But what I realize is that the mercy rule seemingly only comes into sports. Like there's no other field where somebody talks about a mercy rule. For example, when I was in school getting 60s and 70s, I hope my parents are listening because I don't want them to think I sound proud of that. But when I was getting 60s and 70s and the other kids in the class were getting like 80s and 90s and 100s, no teacher told the students getting 80s and 90s, you know what, maybe you should get 70 or 75 so that Daniel don't feel too bad that him getting the 60s that him getting, right? No big company is going to stop trading their stocks because them leading the next company or the companies by so much. You know, there's a restaurant not going to lock up shop for an entire week because them leading everybody else and they want them to catch up. It's only when it comes to sports where we have talented athletes that people say, you know what? After 10 goals, stop playing. Oh no, why not trying to get to 15? No man, stop, spare them. Why? Sports, and that's why I think sports itself is not respected by the wider public as we think, because why are you telling young men who have this ridiculous talent that they must stop score goal? You can imagine you go there, watch your son go score all 4 or 5 goals, and then a man just say, no man, mercy rule, let's stop right there. So your son won't continue scoring goals. So I do understand that you want to spare the kids or even adults because there are mercy rules in adult sports. But you want to spare the kids, fine.
Yeah.
But there's a way how to spare the kids. Don't make them play. Or make them play, learn them lessons, and let them move on.
That's right.
Because as you said with Chelsea, when Chelsea lose and think they're going to go back to the drawing board, they're going to fix some things, and then you hope that they're going to do better next time, right?
Well, we should be doing better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these students at St. Mary's College and Mount St. Joseph who get the 20-0 and the 26-0, they will learn some valuable lessons. One, that they're going to need to work harder than ever before.
They should just give up football.
And that is option 2. It's a harsh reality. I know that we always tell people to chase after your dreams. Mm-hmm. But I can't chase after all my dreams. I would love to be an ASAFA Powell, but unfortunately, I'm going to run 15.30 in 100 meters. As a matter of fact, maybe the man who shoot the gun might actually cross the line before me. So we aren't able to produce always at a high level, and we're going to have to learn these type of lessons. And it's also, the mercy rule is also unfair to the competitors, which I sort of talk about. But what happens now when St. Catherine, them did win 26-0, and then all of a sudden, St. Mary's College withdraw from the competition. They wasted scoring 26 goals for it to not count. So can you imagine if I was one of them youth there, me score 18, and I'm there go on my bed and think, boy, I'm going to get the golden boot tonight. And then all of a sudden, I wake up the next morning with 0 goals.
But should it impact the matches which are played before? I'm thinking what they should probably do is to just give all the teams 3 points. So those matches were made null and void because they no longer exist.
So you can imagine, I did done prepare myself, train, I scored this one bag of goals. And then you can tell me, say, St. Mary's
But
College.
is there a penalty that year? Was there a penalty in terms of
I don't think they got a penalty.
fine or anything?
I think Issa said they sort of understood, and that's why the whole mercy rule kind of started, because them said they want to spare the kids.
I think it was COVID affected, so we can.
No, it's not.
put his
It's
labels
not
on COVID.
It's not COVID affected. Every year when we watch Manning and Da Costa Cup, we see like big scores. Clearly not 26 and 20-0, but we always see teams that get 10-0 and 13-0
That's
and
not bad.
15.
10-0, not bad.
Not bad to who?
Well, the side giving it.
All right. So the other day, St. George's College, one of the most successful schoolboy teams of all time. I think them get 7-1 from Calabar.
Oh, that sounds good, man. That's a good result.
Yeah,
Good
for
to them.
for you. But them also get, what was it? It's 6-0 them get from Jamaica College. And for St. George's, that is extremely embarrassing. So what the mercy rule then ends up being extremely subjective. So when it reached 3-0 for St. George's College, it's embarrassing. So do they end up calling the mercy rule and then you stop it?
Well, they're St. George's, and I believe that St. George's.
No, but it's the principle. So if Chelsea getting 4-0, right, that's really embarrassing for you.
Mm-hmm.
So Chelsea as a big club, them not going to want to get 4-0. So suppose them decide to say, all right, let me introduce the mercy rule too. I don't want to get no more goals scored against me. But then 4-0 for, let's say, a lesser team, like a Sheffield United or a Burnley or whatever, you might think 4-0 normal for them. So then the mercy rule ends up being subjective. So then overall, I think you see where I'm coming from. The mercy rule don't make any sense.
Not at all.
So there are ways to solve not putting in a mercy rule. One, have a qualifying or a tier system.
Oh yeah, like a preliminary round. something like
Exactly.
that. Mhm.
So I understand that you want all the teams to participate. So fine, have a Manning Cup A and a Da Costa Cup A, then have a Manning Cup B and a Da Costa Cup B
Season
too.
normally starts at September there, or what?
Yeah, this year it started later because there was no school
So I'm
happening.
thinking some of these sides, lesser sides, should probably participate. Maybe like July, August. Maybe like do a preliminary league.
Yeah, and then exactly, and then have maybe the best two who may still end up getting 8 and 9, but at least them can say, boy, I won the preliminary league or the tier league and everything is all right. So you can do
Also, we can have like a Manning Cup B and a Da Costa.
Yeah,
like you have it in the English Premier League.
exactly.
And,
So
okay.
tier systems happen all over in life,
That's a solution then.
Yeah.
Going forward.
So please, Issa, if you're listening, everybody, if you're listening, please do not support the mercy rule. Just encourage them to either take their losses and move on, or just don't enter. All right, so we're going to go into a break, and then when we come back, we'll hear from the former world record holder, ASAFA Powell.
Yo, what's your new Wi-Fi password?
Just scan the code.
Yo, your net a move fast.
You mean fiber fast with Flow? I upgraded and can stream class, video call mommy, and surf online with ease now.
With over $200 million invested over the past 3 years, Flow continues to improve access to the internet island-wide. Over 240 communities got connected to the fiber-fast experience in 2021, with more to come. Join the Flow family to stay connected to your progress on Jamaica's largest network.
Hey, my peeps, get this on the regular. Your HIV status if you consider. Least of a test once a year. Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Cause it might not show up on your timeline and you learn too late, so you're out of time. A progressive future, mandatory. Really long life, our story. You hear?
Remember, update your status in a real life. Go HIV test today.
Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Really long life, our story. Really long life for say youth, coming from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
How does this make you feel? Your smile is a vibe. Bring out the best of it with Tropics Juice Drinks, made with real fruit for the most refreshing experience every time. Get the same great taste you love now with a new look. Enjoy more moments of real joy with Tropics and connect the smile.
Real nice.
Find your favorite flavors in stores island-wide.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on Love 101. I am Daniel Blake. Remember, Sports Talk is brought to you by Jamaica Customs Agency, Country Above Self, and Accountant General's Department, service with excellence, touching the life of every Jamaican. So, when I wanted to have my own show when I was younger, I always wanted two guests. Kobe Bryant, may his soul rest in peace, and ASAFA Powell. And fortunately, by the grace of God, I was able to interview the former world record holder, Olympic gold medalist, world championship gold medalist, Commonwealth champion, just an all-around amazing athlete, ASAFA Powell. He's going to talk about his highs and lows of his career, his rivalry and friendship with Usain Bolt, dealing with criticism, and he'll also address his retirement. So is he going to retire or not? So I spoke to him on Friday, and here is part one. People will usually wait to ask this at the end, but I want to start with it first. I was looking forward to seeing you at the national trials and didn't see you. And I know that you've been training, but I want to know, are you officially retired?
Well, this season I was training, and leading up to the trials, I was in real good shape, but I developed a back injury, and that messed me up for the trials. It didn't make sense to go to the trials because I probably wouldn't finish the first round with a serious back injury. So that's why I didn't see my trials. As for retirement, you'll know about that soon. You'll know soon.
So announcement coming, or
something is coming. Something is coming.
All right. So I know that 2017, Usain had his last race at the National Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that you'd want something like that, like in 2022, where you can just sort of tell the fans thanks, because basically everybody loves you and appreciates what you have done for the sport and for Jamaica. So wouldn't you want that last hurrah?
I mean, I definitely want something memorable, because, I've dedicated my entire track and field to Jamaica, and I've had a good career, and definitely people show a lot of support, and they have been there with me through, thick and thin. So definitely I want something like that. So, like I said, something is coming. We're just making sure that we plan it properly, and, like I said, maybe something like what Usain did, might be a real good opportunity to put down the towel.
So possibly no attempt at going to one of the major championships, just maybe a farewell race and that's it.
Well, maybe, because I mean I've had a long career, and for the last 2 years, I've been deciding if I want to go on or if I want to, retire now, or do I want to go with a bang, or do I want to continue running and maybe get injured, and then this young upcoming athletes, start beating me and stuff like that, and I have to think about things like that, So I want to retire as one of the most influential athletes in the world, and someone that all these young kids can still look up to.
You've had the long career, as you said, and you've been considering it for the last 2 years. In 2020, your fastest time was 10:51 at one of those MVP meets. And then it brought me back to 2001 when you had run 10:50 to win the under 20 at the time. And you were predominantly I guess a footballer for Charlie Mott, because I think you had even said you had lost count of how much goals you scored. So what made you go down that path to say, you know what, I'm going to do this professionally for the long term?
At Charlie Mount, we were just playing football, and that was the main way out for all the boys at the school, pretty much, that's involved in sport. And because track and field was just, fun for us, just to brag and say who faster than who, that's how we saw track and field. So when I got an injury playing football, my physical education teacher told me to try track and field, and I literally was just trying track and field, and I ended up being the fastest man in the world.
Yeah, so then you go to Commonwealth 2002. You didn't get the individual medal, but you were part of the relay team at that time. Did it start to kick in when you started to wear the national colors and going to that major championships?
Well, at that time, I was I just turned 19 years old. Just leave high school. Just turned 19 years old. I was just having fun. I wasn't even as focused, at that time, because for me, I was young, going to Europe for the first time. Seeing all these people wearing the national gear. It was just a surreal experience for me. So I wasn't even thinking about the bigger picture or anything like that. I was just having other fun, seeing all these, guys that I see on TV, these older guys, competing and competing. So it was surreal for me,
Yeah, and then 2003, you became national champion. You went to the World Champs and had, I guess, 2 mishaps. You were disqualified in the quarters. In the relay, the baton didn't go around, so we didn't get the medal. I think in that same year, you were dealing with the loss of 2 of your brothers at that time. Did you think about quitting? Because those are a lot of things to deal with, especially someone who recently joined the sport, and we see a lot of these young athletes nowadays unable to cope with that type of pressure. So did you think about quitting, or did you use that almost as motivation?
Well, honestly, when I lost my brothers, my eldest brother, because I actually had the national trials the same day, I had the eats at the national trials that same day, and I was like, I can't go, I can't make it, and my eldest brother was the one who called and told me that, this is what my brothers would have wanted, so, I should go there and, do it for them. So, in a sense, yes, it was a big motivation for me, and I, from then and there, every race that I did, I dedicated it to them. So I think that's what drove me to really dominate that year.
Yeah, and then 2004 was your breakout year. The first of many sub-10s you did at GC Foster, 9.99. And then you run sub-10s for fun during the season, running personal best. You were unbeaten heading into the Olympics, and unfortunately you finished 5th. But even though you didn't get that medal, you were almost the man to beat. And then a year later, you break the world record, and then life sort of changes. So how pressuring was that for you at the time, dealing with fame not only on the track but off the track, because a lot of endorsements and things started to come in? So how did you deal with that pressure?
Well, You know, honestly, the pressure didn't really come around, or the pressure didn't start affecting me until maybe 2008, I would say. You know, because 2004, you know, I was still fairly fresh, and I was the youngest athlete at the Olympic Games, and in that field, and I was fearless. You know, I was very fearless, you know, and I think it was just exhaustion that got the best of me. I was too fatigued in the finals. You know, so I think that's the only explanation for what happened to me in the finals, because I was, like I said, I was fearless. I wasn't afraid of anyone. Wasn't afraid of anybody. I was very young and out there just having fun. You know, and you know, 2005. You know, I came back. You know, and you know, that was somewhat of a proving year for me. You know, I wanted to prove to everyone that, hey, I'm still the man to beat. You know, what happened last year was just, you know, a mishap. You know, so I came out that year, man, with with a killer instinct, just to, you know, just to beat everybody that come my way. You know, and then, you know, like I said, the world record, I broke the world record, and you know, that kind of, it wasn't a big surprise. Like, I knew I was going to do it, but then when it happened, it's like I couldn't believe.
Yeah.
You know, because I was running so good that year, you know, and I felt it, you know, that year, you know, but it was unbelievable, man. I couldn't believe it, and it took me a few months before I could really understood what I did, you know, and the pressure. I mean, I started getting, you know, popularity started to come, you know, everywhere I go, people started to recognize me and all that stuff. But when, you know, when like Tyson Gay and, you know, Bowles came into play and all that stuff, that's when, you know, I started to, hey, you know, I need to work harder, because there are other guys out there that's after me. You know, it's not as easy as I thought it was, you know. So that's when the pressure started to come about, and then, you know, how Jamaicans are very prideful, and you know, us being out there on the track, you know, I started to think to myself, hey, if both win, I have to be second. If I win, you know, both have to be second. So it's like I started to think about outcomes and all that stuff, and you know, that's where the pressure. I think the pressure kind of got the best of me at in 2008.
Yeah. Before I touch on 2008, 2 years before, you won your first major title at the Commonwealth Games. And in that same year, I think you had equaled your record twice.
Yeah, twice.
And then in 2007, you know, you were the heavy favorite, and you end up getting bronze at the World Championships in Osaka. When you look back at that, do you think that was like the one, I guess, gold medal that got away because you were just such a heavy favorite, being the world record holder and everything? Was that the one that you think, man, that's probably the one I should have gotten?
Well, no. 2004 was 2003 to go back, because 2003 at that World Championship where I got disqualified, I was the favorite there, and you know, that's the one that I thought everything should have started from. You know, all the winning, the gold medals. I think that's where it should have started. You know, win 2003 World Championship, then win 2004 Olympics. So 2003, 2004, those days are the days when, you know, I think it should have started. 2007 was easy. It was just, you know, me being injured almost all season and go to the World Championship pretty fresh. You know, and running against guys who are capable of running 9.8 seconds. You know, that was pretty tough. You know, so I think 2003, 2004, those are the years that I think got away, and I was like, yeah, man, I should have gotten these, you know.
So that is part one of my interview with ASAFA Powell, addressing his retirement and also the early part of his career. In part 2, he's going to address the latter part of his career, including his rivalry and friendship with Usain Bolt. But we take a quick break and we'll be back with ASAFA Powell.
Right, and now we got more ways to win. With Digicel this Christmas.
Digicel more ways to win. 2.5 million vouchers and prizes.
We now say things ain't easy, so we are give 20 grand cash weekly. Free data and prime bundles. Digicel there anytime you need.
Win big by watching your play. Go hop or stream a playlist on the music. With a smartphone or a smart TV by watching your favorite team. Digicel
more ways to win.
This Christmas, Hope Rocks has got something real special for you. It's going to be loads of fun. Saturday, December 18, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Don't miss a Zoom party pre-show with DJ Rebirth. Sign up to be a part of the Zoom party pre-show. Love 101 staff members will be on show. Guest artists and performers, live band, and lots of prizes and surprises. Hope Rocks. Christmas 101. Come home. Saturday, December 18, beginning at 5 p.m. Oh, it's going to be a leap of fun. You can't afford to miss it.
Attention company officers of profit and non-profit organizations. Have you filed your annual returns with the Companies Office of Jamaica? Your returns must be filed no later than 28 days after the anniversary of incorporation or the date your last annual return was made. Failure to file will result in penalty of $100 for each day of delinquency, lawsuits, company removal, or imprisonment of company officers. For assistance, contact the Companies Office of Jamaica Compliance Department at 276-9600. File today, don't delay.
Welcome back to Sports Talk here on the family station Love 101. Remember, Sports Talk is brought to you by Jamaica Customs Agency, Country Above Self, and Accountant General's Department, service with excellence, touching the life of every Jamaican. If you're just joining, I have been talking to, I spoke with ASAFA Powell, the former world record holder, on Friday. He already addressed whether he's retiring or not, and also the early part of his career. In part 2, he's going to talk about his rivalry and friendship with Usain Bolt, the injuries that he had to deal with, the criticisms, what he intends to do life after track and field, and he even defended some of his countrymen. So let's listen to part 2 of my interview with ASAFA Powell. 2008 track and field and sprinting sort of changes. Usain decided to have a bet with his coach and say, I'm going to try run the 100 meters, and if he's successful, he's going to do it long term. He ends up breaking your world record in New York. You had faced off a few times. He got the better of you. You got the better of him. And then at the Olympics, he ends up, beating his chest, breaking the world record 969. But how difficult was it throughout your career after that, being the guy to beat, and then now you have Usain who comes in, who is running these extremely crazy times, which only you had shown us, was possible. How difficult was it to compete?
Well, honestly, for me, it was a lot of fun to compete with Usain. Firstly, before Usain actually ran 9.6 or 9.5, I had told myself that I can run it. I can run 9.6, and I've proven a number of occasions that I'm capable of going 9.6, or whatever. So I always had that confidence that I can go below 9.7 seconds. So running with Usain for me was always an excitement, because I'm like, what am I going to run today? It's not if Usain is going to beat me or if I'm going to beat him. It's always for me is what am I going to run today? Because in myself, I know that, you know, the best man always win on that day. You know, it's whatever shape you're in on that day, that's the person that's going to win. You know, so for me, it's just always, I wanted to go out there and really, you know, run a personal best. A personal best was always the goal for me whenever I go out on the track. And for you saying being my friend and being Jamaican as well, it made it a lot more comfortable, and the environment was a lot more comfortable for me whenever I'm out there on the track.
Yeah. So in 2012, London, you got injured in that final. Bolt and Blake, they were getting most of the spotlight, and you know, there's once again the narrative from people in the media and people on social media and everywhere that you were almost like this choker, or you can't compete at the highest level. How hurtful was that, and how did you manage to sort of ignore those criticisms and continue showing up continuously after that? Because for the average person, hearing those type of things would be extremely damaging.
Well, you know, for me, people don't really understand. They will never understand what we athletes go through, or what you're going through at any given time. Any normal person, even a normal person that's walking on the street, you cannot look at them and know what they're going through at any given time. You know, 2012, personally, I think I was in the best shape of my life. Wow. 2012, going into the national trials. I tore my groin in the first round at the national trials, and I flew to Miami, and they put something on my groin to numb the pain, and then I flew back to Jamaica the same day and ran the semifinals and the finals, and I ran 9.86 in the finals, and you know, then it flared. You know, running with a injury like that, I think I shouldn't have, you know, done it. You know, Jamaica should have had something in place where, you know, if you're ranked number 2 in the world, you shouldn't have to run at the national trials. You know, so I think that was my wrong. You know, to try and force to run trials, because that year was, I think the reason why I did it, you know, the excitement around that national trials. I don't think there was any trial that was as big as that. The Blake and Bolt ASAFA showdown. You know, that trial was very big. You know, and you know, I really wanted to be a part of all of that. You know, and that's why I was pushing to even compete at the Olympic Games. You know, and I knew I was running on a thin line pretty much. You know, and I got to the finals, and when I got to the finals, I said, hey, now it's time to give it all. And I gave it my all, and the leg just couldn't hold up, you know. But I understand why people would say what they are saying. And honestly, I genuinely think these people are just fans who really want me to do well. And, you know, the disappointment that comes with it would always let them question, you know, their loyalty towards me, in a sense, you know. So you'll find people always say things, you know, and I consider them as fans, you know. And they're just disappointed that I didn't perform the way that they thought I could perform, you know. So it's a bit of a disappointment for them, and yes, a disappointment for me as well, because I'm yet to prove what I really can do. Even though I've done a lot, you know, I'm yet to prove what I really could have done. I mean, for me, it's not even winning the gold medal at the World. It's just for me to prove that I could go below 9.7 seconds. Like, you know, that's the biggest thing for me. You know, to try and run as fast, you know, as I possibly can. Because at the end of the day, when everybody can win a gold medal, no matter who it is, you know, somebody can just go and be one of the backup for the relay, and they win a gold medal. You know, so to be like in the top 2 fastest human being that has ever lived, that has always been a big deal for me. So, you know, I'm still very grateful for all my accomplishment, all my achievements. So no real complaints.
Yeah, and it's funny that you talk about the relay gold medal because especially as a fan, I remember 2008 when you guys had broken the world record and won at the time. I remember seeing you extremely happy, seeing you dancing with Usain, Nesta, Michael.
Yeah.
And then after that, 2009, you were part of that team. You've always been part of, the supreme success in the relays. Does that almost sort of, I guess, make up for not getting that individual medal, knowing that you sort of helped 3 other men, including the greatest of all time, Usain Bolt, in getting that gold medal?
Well, when I go to the championships, whether I win the medal myself or with a teammate, I'm always out there representing for a country. So, if it's an individual medal, or relay medal, I'm always as happy. The same, I'm always just as excited, and to do it with other teammates, as a team, I think that even make it a lot more special, and I think there's a lot more excitement around that even that too. People want to see the relays. The relays, I think those are the relays the most exciting event at any championship.
Yes.
So to be a part of that, and yes, to help my teammates to get a gold medal as well, it's really something very exciting and something that I'm always proud of.
And 2 of your teammates and friends, Nesta Carter, Michael Frater, 2 exceptional sprinters. I want to know, do you think that they are sort of underappreciated when we talk about sprinting here in Jamaica? And how much did they push you in training each day while you were in this world record form?
For me, Jamaicans are very ungrateful. They don't. Jamaica always look for if you're not winning, you're losing pretty much.
Yeah.
So if you're not that one person on top, nobody else matter. So when you have athletes who, like say, you said Michael Frater and Nesta Carter, who helped to create this big dynasty. All these, the Jamaica takeover. And people don't recognize them. Michael Frater was second 2005 World Championship.
Yeah.
Nobody remember that. These Nesta Carter got third World Championship 2013, 14 or 13. Yeah,
13,
nobody remember them. Yeah, nobody remember that. These people, they don't focus on that one person. That if you're not winning gold, you're not winning anything. So. I think it's just very unfortunate that we see it like that, because any other country just to win, just to even finish 4th or make a finals is a big deal for them. But Jamaicans are just spoiled,
Yeah, and speaking of spoiled, or male sprinters over the last few years haven't had that global success, and we've seen some of the comments towards them. Some, I would say, borders. Well, doesn't even border. Some of them have been extremely disrespectful. Have you, reached out to any of our current stars to tell them, look, ignore the noise, I've been through it, just keep going, and sort of encouraging them to push on and prove them wrong?
Well, I can't reach out to all of them, but what I did this year, I made a video and I put it out, and I think it reached a lot of people. I saw a lot of the athletes, really thanking me and thanking me for saying what I said, and I put it out there because people don't understand what the athletes are going through, and we gave Jamaica almost 20 good years in track and field.
Yeah.
Almost 20 good years we've been on top, which has never happened before in history. So there's going to become a time when, everything have to change and you have to restart from scratch and come back again. Because when these athletes that brought you guys on this ice pedestal, when we retire, what do you think will happen? You have to build other athletes, and it takes time. So, I mean, they just have to stay strong. I said it. I made a video, and I spoke for all the athletes, and I think all of them, really got the picture, and I mean, I'm testimony to all of that, man.
Yeah,
I'm testimony to all that because I've had so many disappointments and I've had so many glorious moments, but I don't let the disappointments, get the best of me. The disappointments might be a bit more because people expected me to win this championship, that championship, or a medal at this championship, and I didn't. But at the end of the day, I got a peace of mind. I still go out on the track every day after the disappointments, and I still do my best.
Yeah, and talking about you, almost 100 sub-10s, several world records, multiple medals at various championships. When you look at your entire career, are you fully satisfied with how things went, or do you look back and have more regrets than satisfaction?
Honestly, definitely I have regrets. I have regrets, but I'd say I'm satisfied. I managed to make a life out of this. I'm financially stable. I have my family. I met, if things could have gone differently, maybe I wouldn't be, where I'm at today.
Yeah.
So I still have to be grateful because maybe I wouldn't have met my wife. Maybe I wouldn't have had, my kids and all that stuff. Life would have been different. So I have to be grateful.
Yeah.
I think I've done enough. I've earned enough. And I'm satisfied.
Speaking of your family, you recently welcomed a boy. You have 3 boys now. You also have a daughter. I'm wondering, people sort of pressure you saying that his children have to go into athletics, them have the fast twitch muscle. Will you be that dad to push them into athletics, or knowing what you have gone through, are you going to tell them, no, don't bother, try something else?
No, sir. Well, I would never, ever do that. Never do that. If my kids grow up and don't want to run, I mean, yes, I would love to see them come and follow in my footsteps, but it's not easy. It's not easy, and you have to let the kids make their own decisions.
Yeah.
And you're saying, Keith, fiance is not involved in sport at all. She has no athletic genes. Who knows if the kids are going to get their genes are going to get. So you can't really pressure the kids, into doing trying to follow in your footsteps. It's not like business or anything like that. It's a sport. It's not easy.
Yeah, and then speaking about your wife, Alicia, you have that YouTube channel with her. You've been more outspoken over the last few years, which is sort of in contrast to almost that shy, laid-back person that, years ago we would have never believed would be doing all this now. How would you describe your connection with her, and what sets her apart that makes you go, she really brings out the best in me?
Well, she gets me. You know, she understand. She make sure to try and learn about my life. You know, she understands, you know, the lifestyle that comes with everything, and you know, she's just a very, you know, encouraging person, and you know, there's so much about her, man. There's a lot. You know, she make me feel like, you know, if she say, "Yo, tomorrow you can just retire, I don't know." You know, I that advice I will take from her.
Yeah.
You know, because she gives good advice, and she was just the one from the get go. You know.
Yeah. So we've seen part of what post-retirement life is like, and we obviously know that you have a huge passion for cars. Is there any chance of you competing at Dover or Palisades, or you just plan to do more garage work than anything?
No, man, definitely. I have to support. You know, because you know, ever since I've been a part of the whole sporting, you know, fraternity in a sense. So, I definitely have to show support. You know, if I can go into Dover, I definitely will build a car for Dover.
Wow.
You know, if you know, I have friends in it as well. You know, but once things start to pick up back, because I've always said it to myself, because I'm competing, I won't go into it. But when I'm retired, I will, you know, make a try at it. You know, and you know, I love the sport, and I think the sport needs a lot more, you know, endorsements from, you know, entire Jamaica, because nobody really focus on motorsport in a sense, you know. So yeah, man, you will see me at Dover and at the drag strip and at Quality, all these things.
All right. So before I let you go, I have to ask this, especially seeing that this will be on Love 101. We know that you grew up in church, still go to church to this day. Give me your favorite gospel artist and your favorite gospel song.
Grace Trillance Can't Even Walk Without the Holy Man.
That's a classic.
Yeah, man. I'm an old school type of guy, you know. I love the old school music, you know. I downloaded the entire Grace Trillance album on my phone, and you know, every Sunday as I wake up, that's all I play in my house, you know. And my wife is very religious as well, you know. So yeah, that just top to the icing on the cake.
I will ensure that the DJ plays that one and says this is ASAFA's favorite.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. No problem.
All right, ASAFA, thank you so much for talking to me. It's been an absolute pleasure. And, you know, we hope to see that announcement that you say you're going to make soon.
Yeah, man.
But
Respect.
Wishing you nothing but success going forward.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
That was the former world record holder, Olympic gold medalist, World Championship gold medalist, Commonwealth gold medalist, ASAFA Powell, right now a YouTuber with his wife, Alicia. I'm sure that you know about that and you've watched a few of his videos. Very funny, family man, everything. It was a real pleasure talking to him and finding out some things that I guess I didn't even know. Like in 2012, when he went to the final and people had, you know, Bolt and Blake as a favorite, he thought that year was his year because he was in the best form and ended up getting injured. And, you know, a part of me wishes that he went through his career not only injury-free, but also not pressure-free, but pressureless. Because I think that for someone to have such, you know, an illustrious career on the track, you know, this, when ASAFA did run 9.77, it was out of this world. And then a year later him do it again, and then a couple months later him do it again, and then him do 9.74. So, you know, somebody who does that, you're like, wow, he must be one of the greatest of all times, you know, which he is. But to know that him do have that Olympic gold medal, like that individual one, or him do have an individual world championship medal, I wish it was there, but you know, he's satisfied with his career. He said it's not all about the medals, and when he makes that announcement, he'll be extremely happy with his career. A lot of comments coming in on Facebook. Charmaine Allison, thank you so much for tuning in. That is Camille Adair Morgan on YouTube. Thank you, Paulette, Angela, Ophelia, Rosemary, Greg, Diane Cherry, Sidon, everybody who has tuned in on our Facebook line. Ariel sending a shout out to Danny BG. Thank you so much. And Sis Ray from Spanish Town, St. Catherine, thank you so much for tuning in as well. Yeah, it's sometimes I'm a little speechless, Rasheen. I know we have about like 2 minutes to go, but you know, being a huge fan of ASAFA, you know, I pride myself on being objective, right? And I remember at the start of the interview, I had told him I apologize if I end up sounding more like a fan than a journalist, because, you know, this is someone that you grew up watching. Well, I grew up watching. When he debuted at the Olympics in 2004, I was 10. I hope people don't think that, you know, I'm this kid on the radio or anything like that. But yeah, it's, you know, seeing his career going through all of that, getting into arguments with people because them call him choke and one bag of something, and me have to that defend him. I'm in a godly way. I don't fight. I don't curse or anything like that. But it was just really surreal, and I'm extremely excited that I have this show now. I'm being part of the Love family. Thank you for you know, helping me and welcoming me and the entire Love family. And thank you for everyone on Facebook, on YouTube, on all the FM bands, you know, 101.1, 0.3, 0.5, 0.7, 0.9, those listening on the app, those listening on love101.org. I thank you so much. And thank you also to my sponsors, Jamaica Customs Agency, Country Above Self, and the Accountant General's Department, service with excellence, touching the life of every Jamaican. That's it for Sports Talk today, December 4. Going to have so much more in store for you in the coming weeks. But for now, I am Daniel Blake, and I will see you next week.